I'm Nico Herrera,
This is Adam Flores, Joshua Contreras.
and this is our presentation about COVID-19 and nanoparticles. Okay. What is COVID-19? So COVID-19 is a respiratory disease caused by SAR COVID-2 that was discovered in 2019. It is easily transmitted between person to person through respiratory droplets, small particles that are transmitted through sneezes, coughs, and talking. So this is just pretty much daily things that happen, but COVID is in this now, so it was a lot worse. And on March 11, 2020, COVID was declared a global pandemic, as I'm pretty sure everyone remembers that. Okay, so next slide is what has COVID caused? So COVID caused many things to people all over the world, not just the US. And some of these things include quarantine and isolation, which led a lot of us to just staying home for months, maybe even a year without going out. Wearing face masks, and as we wore face masks, we weren't able to produce as much antibodies without the vaccine, so it led to people getting more sick and a lot less able to fight the COVID-19. And there was over 1 million deaths in the US alone that were a result to COVID-19. There was a scarcity of items as many people were panicking and wanted to buy as much things when they would go to the stores, toilet paper, water, milk, eggs, all that. So which led to like limiting at stores, and it just created a lot of chaos. And also inflation. I feel like this COVID was the start of inflation, as a lot of things were backed up, as like meat, produce, and all that. So now, as you see the prices, gas and everything, the prices are almost like $1 or $2 more than what they were before COVID. Okay. And our traditional ways of treating COVID. So what is a normal, easy way of treating COVID? Kind of like if you're just at home. So usually it started from 2 weeks in the very beginning, but now it's 5-day isolation just to make sure you won't infect anyone else. And we could also wear a face mask everywhere, and that's what people used to do, and people still do that, which is very safe and very good thing to do. And I put here home remedies, which is something I got COVID once, and I was look like TikTok and everything. Now you look at home remedies, and some work, some don't. But when you have nothing, that's all you can do. And another good thing was staying hydrated and eating, because COVID would take all those things away from you and have to be extra and more on top of your health. And over-the-counter medicine. So COVID is its own certain thing. Has the symptoms of cold, but it can be fought off like a cold. So some medicines like Advil or cough medicines kind of help, but it wasn't enough. And what is a nanoparticle? So we're going into the nanoparticle aspect now. So nanoparticles are extremely small particles of any shape with the dimension ranging from 1 to 100 nanometers. They are invisible to the naked eye and used for various purposes, such as materials. So there's nanoparticles used in eyeglasses that they don't allow it to get scratched, which is I thought was pretty cool. And also paint. So it's paint that can't scratch either. So it's kind of like the glasses. And also going back to materials, it's also like even like a table or something, or kind of structure wise, as they're more strong, as we'll explain later in the presentations. Some clothing use nanoparticles, and they resist like any stains that may come. So I thought that was really cool too. So you don't have to buy any oxygen method. Computers, also using computers, like the inside of the computers and the computer system, that's how they're used. And in medicine also, which we're going to talk today, is COVID-19, but they can also fight off cancer cells through certain procedures that I will also explain. I added a picture here of like the different things that they're used for. And I'm gonna pass it to my partner, Alak.
Okay, so basically for all of this, COVID was like really bad for a lot of people, in fact a lot of people. And so basically what's the issue? So the issue is that H-colds are one of the top 10 known viruses fatal to human beings, with mortality rates are up to 10% for SARS-CoV and 36% for MERS-CoV, which are different diseases. Okay, so since COVID started, there was a lot of dispersion of this virus and a lot of people died. Here you can see an image showing basically for A, it's showing the origin of SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV, and SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19, which is widely known as bats as native hosts, while SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV have been shown to be intermediary hosts in civets and camels. SARS-CoV-2 can infect humans through an as yet known and intermediate host. And you can see that in the last picture, which is it's a bat and then a question mark because it's a no. After animal infection, SARS-CoV-2 has spread rapidly worldwide to date, mainly through continuous human-to-human transmissions. In picture B, it is depicting a schematic structure of SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19, MERS-CoV, and SARS-CoV, including hemagglutinin esterase, membrane protein, RNA, and nucleoside protein, envelope, and protein, spike protein. So what's the application? Fortunately for SARS-CoV-2, the genome sequence and protein structure have been published in a short period, making research and development for prevention and treatment relatively easy. Nanotechnology tools can provide a broader overview of new vaccine design strategies. For instance, a nano-based formulation for SARS-CoV-2 therapeutics is being developed as a delivery vehicle, along with a novel nano vaccine metastasis platform and useful nanodrugs for treating SARS-CoV-2 infections. Despite the ongoing efforts made by scientists and doctors, there exists no effective treatment for SARS. And antibiotics are not effective against viruses, and antibiotic drugs do not show much benefit. There are different types of nanoparticles, which are four. The first one is lipid nanoparticles, which are biocompatible due to their lipid properties. Hence, they can be selectively applied in fields such as biomedical science. The second one is the gold nanoparticles, which induce an immune response by antigen presenting cells, easily is attractive for use in vaccine development. Nanoparticles have the advantage of being easily transported for delivery through the nasal cavity. In this case, it's a gold nanoparticle. The third one is dendrimer nanoparticles, which have strong interaction with viruses. The resulting system improves in antiviral activity and has a powerful effect in preventing infection in the host. The fourth one, which is the last one, polymer nanoparticles. These are an effective choice of delivery systems because their properties and functions can be adjusted according to their specific application. There's some of the characteristics of these nanoparticles. They have, you can see the advantages for the liposomes, the advantages for polymer nanoparticles, dendrimer, gold nanoparticles, virus-like particles, and the cell-derived vesicles. You can see how the disadvantages for most of them were the production of cost, which is high for all of them, due to maybe lack of economic affordability. Our nanoparticles used in this application. There are two lipid nanoparticle-based vaccines. The first one is the Moderna vaccine, which is the mRNA 1273, and it's a lipid nanoparticle consisting of the ionizable cationic lipid SN102, DSPC, cholesterol, and PGDMG. The second one is the Pfizer vaccine. And below you can see a picture of how it looks. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which is a BNT162b2, is also a lipid nanoparticle and consists of the ionizable cationic lipid AOCO315, DSPC, cholesterol, and PEGDMA. Both lipid nanoparticle formulations are administered intramuscularly in two separate doses and are used to encapsulate mRNA that encodes for SIRS-CoV-2, just COVID-19, spike glycoprotein, which mediates attachment to host cells and thus enables viral entry. Now I'll pass it to Joshua Contreras.
Hi, I'm here to talk about the current technology downsides of nanoparticles. The first downside of nanoparticles is nanopollution. Nanoparticles are difficult to recycle. They're non-biodegradable and can release harmful toxins to the air, water, land. In addition to this, they're also difficult to track and monitor due to its size. So, city governments or local governments, federal governments, they have trouble tracking these. As you can see on the diagram on the right side, industrial effluent, surface runoff, sewage and sludge, biological use. They are all contributors to nano pollution, and they both pollute the soil, water, and air. They have adverse effects to both humans and biology in general. The second downside to nanotechnology is ethics. Standards and regulations of nanoparticles are not in place due to their recent innovations. Scientists are still determining the long-term effects of these nanoparticles and are using known research and laws of science to take reasonable precautions going forward. So, connected to this are the adverse health effects. The FDA has already regulated nanoparticle products with nanomaterials known to cause harm to humans or animals, yet they still don't know the full capacity or potential dangers that these nanoparticles contain under certain environmental conditions. How nanoparticles are used. So nanoparticles are used through consumer products mainly. Nanoparticles have allowed scientists and engineers to reinvent everyday consumer products to make them stronger, lighter, and cleaner for their individual applications. Some examples of these consist of scratch-proof eyewear, self-cleaning windows, transparent sunscreens, food packaging implanted with antimicrobial agents, medicinal drug delivery to find disease cells and carry medicine to them. That diagram on the right side shows the advantages of using nanoparticle sunscreen. The left side portion of that diagram shows organic UV filters, which are regular generic sunscreens that you would buy at the convenience store, grocery store. As you can see there, those UV filters don't have nanoparticles, which allow they allow thermal energy to be released in comparison to the nanoparticle sunscreen, which only reflects the sunlight off of the skin. How are nanoparticles safe? Even though nanotechnology may have some downside effects, they have also created safe opportunities. These include strong materials, quickly form and bond together. So they are safer organisms, selective targeting, new advancements, food grade ingredients, and biodegradable properties. This chart here shows the nanoparticles and their different size, shape, charge, surface, and properties. And those exposures vary, and they could be either hazardous or beneficial to different forms of either human life or animal life or the environment. Nanoparticles are the future. Nanoparticles are on the rise and they're making their way into many different great things. COVID is just one of the many problems nanoparticles are improving. As time goes on, nanoparticles will be improving and will be able to help us in the future. Like I said earlier, scientists and engineers are still researching and looking into these nanoparticles and trying to get everything they can out of it, as safe as they can. without harming any person, any area. Nanoparticles are still on the rise and they have a bright future ahead. Here are our sources. And thank you for listening to our presentation.